welcome to this week's episode of The Good, The Bad and The Odd with your hosts Mark and Sam. This week we'll be telling you what we've been doing. We'll be discussing our top 5 best uses of weapons in the movies, and we'll be discussing The Man with the Golden Gun. Hi Sam.
Hi.
So what have you been up to since the last one?
Mostly been playing Xbox games because my Xbox decided to wipe everything.
Yeah, that's
good times.
Nice.
But everything has to be started again.
Well, that could be kind of fun, can't it? Or is it just bad news?
Not if you've just started a game. You have to.
Well, if it's just started, that's the best time, isn't it? It's better than being just at the end, I suppose. Okay. So you've been what sort of games?
This week has been Assassin's Creed, Mass Effect, and my new game Deus Ex.
Right.
Which
Okay.
is such a good game.
I'm gonna have to try this game. I wasn't like I played the first up to where you get to a room and guys are machine gunning at you and you die. Do you know
what
that
difficulty
bit? Is that
did
right
you play
at the
it on?
Medium.
Yeah, there is no sort of medium. It's normal, hard.
Hard then.
Yeah.
The middle one.
The middle one you played. That's very difficult. So
is it? Oh well, maybe I'll try it on easy. Yeah, it just got on my nerves because I just died, and it took quite a while. The save point was quite a bit before that, if I remember rightly. I can't remember now, for sure. Right, okay, so Deus Ex mainly, yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't played any games at all since we last talked. I just haven't had time, really, and I've been doing a lot of other stuff. I have done a lot of other stuff, though. How about you? Books, TV, other films or anything?
I've been watching this comedian Gabriel Iglesias.
You mentioned this last time, yes. Yeah, you said he was pretty good.
Yeah, I need to try and find him on TV because he's got a TV show.
Right, okay. Right. I've watched an old episode of, series of Doctor Who. It's the 4th one ever made. It was called Marco Polo. And it's 7 episodes, and it's a real drag. It was a real drag. It was, really slow, stagey. Lots of bits of it were like Marco writing in a diary with a voiceover of what he was putting in it, and it sort of what he said sounded like something coming out of a history school. A lesson in history sort of primer book. You know, we travelled the desert in this, between this time and this time, and then we went here. But and it's like this for seven episodes. Oh, it was a drag, and I didn't enjoy it much at all. It didn't help the fact that there was no video. They only had the audio track. But what they did do, which was quite good, is they showed photos from the actual episodes. But these were in colour. Now, all the ones I've watched so far have been in black and white, so it was quite nice to see some of the characters in colour, just to see them. But otherwise, it was really a pretty bad episode, pretty bad series, that one. I also watched a nutty film, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the sequel to Planet of the Apes. Which I remember seeing it years ago and thinking it was actually a lot better than it was after watching it again. It was just mad. You know, there was a bit where there was an astronaut. It was a bit like Taylor, the Charlton Heston character, you know, all chest and teeth and all this, always taking his shirt off. Gets caught by the apes, escapes, gets caught by the apes, escapes, gets into the desert, finds an underground city, which is New York, then he realises he's on Earth. So it's a bit like the Statue of Liberty moment, but in a different way. And then he encounters a group of weird mutant humans that have got telepathic powers, but also worship as a god an atomic bomb. And these guys realise the apes are marching on them, so they're trying to use their telepathy to scare away the apes. But they realise that's going to work, so they start priming the bomb to blow up Ape City, which isn't far from them for a start. And then it turns out the new guy bumps into Taylor, who explains to them the bomb they worship is actually the ultimate bomb. It will blow up the Earth completely, but they're setting it off. And then it all goes all over the place, and then they invade this city and they pull the bomb down with pulley ropes, and Taylor sets off the bomb just as he's about to die, and the whole plot blows up, and that's it. You think, what? It was mad. It was definitely a film you'd only get at the end of the 60s. It was like so many weird ideas. The best bit was the worshipping the bomb. It was just so odd because they had this like an Our Father prayer, but it was all about the bomb. who live in Fallout, and it's really weird, really weird. It was okay though, you know. It was just so odd. That was the thing about it. Done a bit of reading. I read a series called Ronin, written by Frank Miller.
Okay.
And it was okay. I've read a bit about it after I finished reading it itself, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, it's his first masterpiece and all this." But it wasn't that good. It was nowhere near as good as, say, Dark Knight Returns or Sin City or 300. It was all over the place a bit, but there were bits in it I quite liked. Having saying all that, it was originally a six comic run, and then they've converted it to a graphic novel.
Okay.
Other things, I've read another Terry Pratchett book, Equal Rights. It's about a little girl who's getting sort of mentored by a witch, and the witch realises she's got wizard magic in her, so she has to take her to Unseen University to be the first female wizard. And the story wasn't quite what I was expecting. It was actually, the whole story was her trying to get to the university, and eventually becoming one. It ends with her becoming taken into the university to be trained. But it was quite good. And I've got a few others, but I'll skip those.
Number 5 is alive.
Okay, shall we go on to the top 5 weapons?
Okay.
Shall I start, or would you like to?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, my number 5. So this was the best use of a weapon or weapons in movies. My number 5's a repeater rifle from the movie True Grit, as fired and spun around his hands and so on and so forth by Rooster Cogburn when he has to face down a group of guys on horseback across a plain, and they accuse him of being fat, and he gets cross and says, "Fill your hands," and he starts spinning it around and shooting them. Very, very cool use of a repeater rifle. I still don't know how you could possibly do all that, but it looked very cool.
You can actually do that with a repeater rifle. You wouldn't be able to put the reins in your mouth and do it.
Use it both hands.
Yeah.
But so you can cock a repeater rifle by spinning it around.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
As long as that's
what he was doing.
Push forward and drawn back.
Right. Okay. Cool. Right. So what's your number 5?
My number 5 is the Indiana Jones gun draw. Indiana
nice.
Jones
Yes. I've got that as my number 3 actually, but that's fine. Yeah. From Raiders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he does it again, or he tries to do it again in Temple of Doom, but his gun's gone, isn't it? And there's 2 of them. Yeah, very cool moment. That is. Good laugh.
It was actually fully improvised by Harrison Ford, who couldn't. I think it was the story was he couldn't get the sword fighting properly. So before they actually did the thing, they were filming him, and he just pulled the gun out of the holster and aimed it at the guy.
I heard it was more a case of he was really tired after all the practicing with it, and he said to Steven Spielberg, "Can I just shoot him?" And he said, "Yeah, all right, we'll film that," and it worked so well. He kept him, but there's probably all sorts of versions of that story. Right? Okay. My number 4 is someone's hands and feet. Actually, it's Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon. He has an awesome display of fighting in a bit where he's in the secret lair of the bad guy. And then a group of guys start attacking him, and he just starts taking them out with his hands and feet. At one point he gets a nunchuck as well and starts using that, but he's just so good, so fast, and so, awesome to watch. Yeah, it has to be said, those hands and feet were lethal, pretty much. Right, okay.
My number 4 again is fist fighting sort of thing. Is this focused fight from Sherlock Holmes? He sort of goes, first I'll hit him on the thing.
From the Robert Downey Jr. one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is an awesome set. Yeah, I know.
Shame they only do it twice.
Yes, I think that there might be a bit more of it in the new film.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it'll be that kind of thing. They'll keep up with that. Yeah, good choice. Excellent choice. Not something I've thought of, but yeah, that's a good one. I've already mentioned my number 3 was Indy's gun. Okay. So you're number 3.
My number 3 is the V for Vendetta knife fighting.
Right. What, both bits?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really well filmed, isn't it? And
yeah.
It's really, really accurate with those knives.
Yeah.
He's a nightmare. And he's such a cool character. But
he's probably the only guy that takes a knife to a gunfight and wins.
Yes, nice. Yeah. Okay. Talking of knives, my number 2 is from Crocodile Dundee. Great use of a knife here. When the mugger pulls a knife at him, and she says, "Mickey's got a knife." He says, "That's not a knife. This is a knife." And he pulls a huge one out. That is well fun.
Bowie knife.
Yeah. Okay, you'll go.
My number 2 is Yoda using his lightsaber in a Star Wars Episode 2.
When he fights Dooku.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just everywhere with that thing.
It's kind of like watching, when I first saw it, I thought, wow, it's like a gremlin speeded up, or something like that, because it's just whizzing around like anything with a lightsaber. Yes, very cool. I think that's probably, other than the Darth Maul fight, no, actually that's not true. I was going to say that was my favourite Jedi fight, but there's 2 other fights I like a bit better than that, but that's my 3rd favourite. The other one's a Darth Maul face-off and the end of The Empire Strikes Back I quite like too. Right, okay, my number 1 is again from Star Wars, but not Jedi's. It's Han Solo. And if George Lucas is out there listening, Han Solo shot first. Alright? Don't care how much he changed it, he shot first. And that's the bit I'm talking about.
I can see the logic behind the way he did it, but...
What, George Lucas changed it?
Yeah, I can see the logic. Like, he doesn't want to make Han look that bad. Like,
but we like him like that. That's how we like our Han Solos. Right, anyway. Okay, your number 1.
My number 1 is the shotgun rapid fire from the end of Evil Dead 3.
Yes,
where
nice.
He jumps up on this like a sort of shopping trolley and just got like a Winchester repeater. He just fires it like really quickly.
That's from the one of the alternate endings, isn't it? Because it's not in every version.
The actual alternate ending.
But I know the bit you mean, yeah.
He goes, "I slept too long." And then there's him fighting a witch in modern times.
Yes.
And him fighting the witch is the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know the bit you mean. Yes, that was the first. That was the one that was in the British version when it first was out in cinemas. And I've seen various others, but that's the first one I saw. That ending I saw for that. Yeah, I've got that Army of Darkness mentioned in my honourable mentions, but I was thinking about the bit where he gives the speech about the boomstick. I quite like that. I know it's not. He's not using it as a weapon, but it is a weapon, and he's talking about it. So, yeah. Okay, you got any other?
I've got the other instance with a cool use of a shotgun in Evil Dead 3, where he's fighting the witch in the throne room.
Oh, not in the pit.
No, in the throne room.
Oh, what, near the end?
No, near sort of midway through.
Okay. Right. Okay.
He just gets in and goes, "Yo, she bitch, let's roll."
Yeah, I thought that was in the pit.
No.
Oh, he climbs out, doesn't he? Yes.
He climbs out, then goes, "This is my boomstick."
Stick.
Then he gets fed by loads of women.
Yeah.
And then he fights the witch.
Ah, okay. Yes. She comes out. Yeah, I know the bit you mean. Yeah. My honourable mentions are. I've already mentioned Army of Darkness, but have you got any others? Or
No, you can go.
Okay. Is the use of a missile in the first Star Wars where they blow up the Death Star? That's awesome. I like the bit in the Evil Dead 2, talking of Ash and so on, where the headless...
What, swallow your soul bit?
Swallow your soul. Swallow
your soul.
He puts a shotgun in his mouth.
Swallow this.
It pulls the trigger, yes, that's quite a good use. There's a film, Clint Eastwood film, called Dirty Harry, where right at the beginning he gets involved in a bank robbery, starts firing off shots, and he's walking up to one of the guys who's a bank robber who's injured or has been shot, but his hand's quite near his shotgun, and he slowly reaches to it, and Dirty Harry gives him a speech, and he says, "You're trying to figure out if I had shot 5 or 6, aren't you?" And he gives him a long speech about a Magnum being a powerful handgun, and he goes, "And it can blow your head clean off. So I don't know how many shots I fired, but you got to ask yourself this: do you feel lucky, punk?" That's a great speech. I also like, no particular instance of use, and I'm kind of mixing up a TV series and a film here, but in Firefly Stroke Serenity, Jane's got a really cool gun which he calls Vera, which is his favourite gun, and it's like a really mad looking gun, and he just makes me laugh whenever he talks about Vera because he loves that gun. And he says things like, 3 men come to kill me once, and the best of them was carrying Vera. Also, have you got any others? Any other?
I've got one from Serenity where the bit where River dives through the closing like bulkhead. You can just
with
like
the swords.
Hear,
yes.
Yeah, you can just hear like slashing, hacking, and everyone thinks she's dead.
Yeah.
Then the door just opens up, and she's just standing there, and they're all these like guys are dead.
Yeah, that is really good. That's a really good scene. I really like Serenity. I mean, we both like Firefly and Serenity, don't we? I also really like I can't remember what the gun was called, but in the movie of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it's like an empathy gun. So if you fire it at someone, they get your feelings. And Marvin uses it against a load of Vogons, and they'll get really depressed. That made me laugh. That was a really good use of a gun. And I've got two more. Have you got any more?
Nah.
Oddjob's hat. I think that's quite
that's
cool
quite
thing.
Like
and
that.
Also, the bit. Well, I'll just say a film. See if you can guess the bit I'm talking about: The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Three-way.
No,
it's either the three-way gunfight or...
No, I'm thinking Tuco in the bath.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
He's got the gun in the bath. When you kill someone, don't talk, shoot.
You're gonna shoot someone, shoot, don't talk.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a good use. Okay, that covers our best use of weapons in movies. I think that we both had quite a good list there. That's quite good.
There can be only one.
For There Can Be Only One, we're going to be discussing James Bond film called The Man with the Golden Gun, which was made in 1974, was Roger Moore's second outing as James Bond after Live and Let Die, before he made what most people considered the best Moore film, which was The Spy Who Loved Me, but which is a matter of opinion. We picked this because the new James Bond film, James Bond 23, was announced this week to be called Skyfall, so we thought we'd do a James Bond. And you hadn't seen this one, had you, Sam?
No.
And I've seen them all, so it wasn't a case of me trying to see one I hadn't seen either. It stars Roger Moore. The protagonist is the fantastic Christopher Lee as Scaramanga. Brett Eklund's the sort of love interest, and Maud Adams is the love interest too. And this one also features a midget, Hervé Villechaize, which I think was the prototype for Mini-Me. I don't know. It was directed by Guy Hamilton, who made the terrific... he's made a number of James Bond films. He made the terrific Goldfinger. He made Diamonds Are Forever, Live and Let Die, and he made this. This was the last one, I think, that he directed. So, it involves James Bond being on the case for something involving solar power, but him having a golden bullet delivered to his offices with 007 printed on it. So they think... which is the trademark of Scaramanga, the highest paid assassin in the world, so they think he's after Bond, so they take Bond off the case while he's under the eye of Scaramanga, but Bond ain't kind of the type to sit around waiting, so he goes and starts tracking Scaramanga down. Right, Sam, what do you think of this one?
I really like this film.
Yeah, it's better than I remember it. I saw it quite a while ago. I've seen it a few times, but it's been a long time since I saw it, and I enjoyed it quite a bit more than I thought it was going to, actually. Is there anything you particularly liked about it?
I like the midget Herman.
Hervé Villechaize, I think his name was. Hervé. Tic Tac. Let's call him Tic Tac.
Knick Knack.
Oh, Knick Knack. Where'd I get Tic Tac from? Knick Knack.
Hervé Villechaize.
Yeah. Anything else? Generally.
I liked Scaramanga's sort of trick room.
Yes.
And his skill shots, really.
Well, I think Scaramanga was quite a good bad guy all round.
Yeah. It
could have been used a bit better.
Yeah.
Because Chris Lee's got a lot of presence, and he was kind of a bit underused in that respect, I think. Yeah. He had a cool base, didn't he? A cool base,
yeah.
I thought some of the scenery and the shots and some of the locations they chose were really nice looking as well. And particular bits I liked were the jump. I thought the jump was spectacular. The car jump.
Shouldn't they added in that weird sound effect?
Yeah, I've got that as what I didn't like. That stupid, I don't know, almost like flute sound, wasn't it? Yeah. But it was a twisting jump, so the car actually did a full twist, going upside down and turning as it jumped across a river and landed on the other side on a bridge. I also like the bit with the Kung Fu school, which I think they threw in because Kung Fu was the vogue back then, but it worked quite well. It was quite a lot of fun. Especially the bit where he first met some bloke who was like posing and doing all the moves, and as soon as they battle, James Bond kicks him in the face and knocks him out. That was quite fun. Was there anything you didn't like about it, apart from the bad sound effect at the jump?
I didn't really like J.W. Pepper. Why was he there?
Don't know. I don't know. I think he was kind of popular in Live and Let Die, so they thought I'd bring him back for that one, but it didn't quite work, did it? Really? He was all right in Live and Let Die. He was quite good in Live and Let Die, but he did need to be in this. I didn't like though the inside of the base was quite cool. When it got to like big set pieces, it kind of reminded me of Thunderbirds rather than proper James Bond sets.
You could probably play the Thunderbirds theme in it.
Yeah, it makes sense. It did look very Thunderbirdsy, and the special sun ray coming out of the rock, it all looked very Thunderbirds and kind of cheap. But it was quite entertaining, having said all that. It was quite an entertaining film. What about the flying car? What did you make of that? It was a bit... Why would you do that when you could just buy a plane?
Yeah.
Kind of thing, wasn't it? It was like, okay.
And it'd be harder to detect a plane.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're quite right. Where a car, it's pretty obvious what's going on. There were some weird old scenes in this film as well. There was the bit where James Bond's walking through a place at night and two sumo wrestlers attack him, and then the midget attacks him.
Then Nick Nack shows up with a pitch, like a trident and a mask.
So these guys have stood in the cold and dark waiting for James Bond to come along. They get all this trouble.
And then
Nick Nack's about to stab him, and the bloke says, "Not on my property, take him away." And you think, why don't, if they caught James Bond, why don't they shoot him through the head? It's a bit, like the old Austin Powers Dr. Evil thing. Just shoot him through the head, but, that's the way it works. Also, the ending, the very end fight, which is James Bond fighting a midget, was a bit odd.
Yeah.
Not much, a bit anticlimactic that was, but I did quite. One another thing I've forgotten that I did like about this film was the music. I thought the music was quite good.
Yeah,
it worked well in the film.
I also liked sort of James Bond's last talk with them. He's like trying to get the
Mary
woman Goodnight over the phone. He's like, "Good night," and Goodnight's sort of going at it with James Bond. James Bond just picks up the phone and goes, "Good night, sir," and hangs up.
Yeah, that's good. One thing that I think because I watched Batman and Robin last week and was like, having to listen to Arnie deliver terrible one-liners and puns, was Roger Moore was really good at delivering a pun or a one-liner. Yeah. There's no when he does it. It's kind of funny and nice.
It's probably because he doesn't sort of go pun and then wait for a. With Schwarzenegger, it's sort of like he's waiting for a laugh.
He's terrible. He's alright in some films doing puns. In Commando, for example, he's quite good at puns, and I think he does one or two in Predator too, and they're fine, but just being Mr. Freeze, it just does not work. And they were just terrible puns as well.
Yeah.
I think overall the story was okay, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The dialogue was okay. The story was pretty straightforward. You knew exactly what was going on pretty much all the time. Which, in some James Bond films, it's so convoluted. What's going on? But this was nice and straightforward. And the music complemented it well. Overall, would you recommend it, do you think?
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. It was quite good. What would you give it out of 100?
About 82.
Oh, quite high then.
Yeah.
I'd give it 65. And IMDb have it at
70.
Say again?
That evens out about 74,
74,
I guess.
yeah. So, IMDb gives it 6.7 out of 10, which is just slightly higher than mine and quite a bit lower than yours. So we rate it slightly higher than IMDb. But yeah, I'd recommend this. Definitely worth watching if it's on, no doubt about it. It would have been nice if they'd have made slightly better use of Chris Lee. He wasn't as sinister as he could be, and maybe that bit of the direction was a little flat. But overall, I think this is quite a good film. I'd put this as the third best Moore film. Live and Let Die is my personal favourite. and then Spur Love Me, and then probably this. What do you reckon? How's it compared to some of the other more ones you've seen?
I've only seen a couple of more ones.
Right.
So yeah,
Was
I
this
quite
the best
liked
ever?
it. No, I've seen better. Okay.
Right. It was okay though, yeah. Alright then, so, well, we'll wind up there. Okay, if you want to send us any feedback, you can get us on our website, www.thegoodthebadandtheodd.com. You can email us on info@thegoodthebadandtheodd.com. You can follow us on Twitter on on the Twitter name Good, Bad and Odd. And any feedback you send us or leave on our website would be gratefully accepted, and we'd be happy to discuss it. But we never get any feedback, so we never get a chance to discuss it. But it could be you are the first one to send us something we can talk about. Also, we'd also like some nice reviews on iTunes, please, to get us a rating. Okay, so it's goodbye from me.
Bye.
Bye.